What is good, everybody on YouTube? Your boy is going through some technical difficulties right now. The camera is tweaking, but as long as we good, as long as y'all could hear me, I'm gonna keep adjusting this camera and we will be good. We are literally flying as we go with this live stream. It's always something different every week, but that's why I love doing it. It's always something different, always something special that happens during the live shows. But shout out to everybody in the chat. We got a few people in here right now. We got a few people in here dropping comments and everybody showing love. So that's what's up. I always appreciate the support. As you guys are coming into the chat, make sure you guys are hitting that like button because it definitely helps the channel grow. And also just let me know if I'm sounding good, if you guys can see me clearly, because like I said earlier, the camera is tweaking. But we got a lot of love in here right now. A lot of people in here. That's what's up. That's what's up. We got a lot of people in here waiting on me because these technical difficulties keep happening. But drop a comment, let me know if you guys can hear me well, see me clearly, and we'll just jump straight into the show. I do these live shows every Thursday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Sometimes I might start at 6:10. You know what I mean? It is what it is, but I'm always here to try to drop some knowledge for you guys and just share the journey. It's really not even about dropping knowledge. When I learn stuff or I figure something out, I'll just try to share some game with you guys as well. Let's see. I hate when I'm doing something on my phone and a YouTube notification pops up and I accidentally hit it. Happens to the best of us. We got a few people in here. Jonathan Brown, what's going on? We in here. Henry Lester, what's going on? How you feeling? We got Bounty Nomad in the chat. What's going on, bro? How's everything? Footwear House, what's going on? Ryan, how you living? Deb Elliott's in the building. That's what's up. So everybody, as you guys are coming in, like I said, hit that like button. Definitely helps out the channel. And just as you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop those in the comment section as well, and we can get the show started. Just a few things wanted to talk about. I'm noticing just a few things just from this week. I'm getting more comments and I'm getting more emails from people that are starting to quit. And I understand it 100%, but a lot of people, and this is not like one or two people. If you guys go to some of my previous videos, you guys will see that there are people saying, I tried it out. I tried it for a week. I tried it for a month. I've been doing this for a year and I'm done. And this is where I think a lot of people go wrong with reselling and any business in general, right? So with reselling in particular, the turnover rate is probably 60 to 70%. And when I say the turnover rate, I mean in the sense that people join these platforms in the sense of, they might see a video on YouTube. They might see one of mine where I'm in a thrift store or I'm in Ross and I'm showing people the stuff that I'm picking up, how much I think it'll sell for, so on and so forth, right? And people see these things and other people's videos as well. Trip to the thrift videos are very popular on YouTube, especially garage sale videos are very, very popular. So people see these videos, they get a ton of views, and people want to do it too. They think it's easy money. So they might try it out for a month. They might try it out for 3 months. They might think they're more, they might think they have that mental toughness or that endurance, and they might stick with it for 6 months to a year. Then afterwards, they realize this isn't for them. And I think that it's super important to a few things. You got to trust the journey. This reselling game and any other business for that matter is not going to be something that you can just jump into and start making thousands of dollars right off the bat. I've known no one that was able to, take off a resale company to that extent overnight. It doesn't necessarily happen. Anything that happens overnight just like that usually would leave just as fast. So always want to keep those types of things in mind. But I just think it's very fascinating that there's especially during the fourth quarter, we have where most sellers are going to be experiencing tremendous growth, influx of sales, even with the pandemic and so much other things happening within the world. Fourth quarter so far has still been very strong for me. I think we officially just hit fourth quarter, maybe a couple days ago, something like that. But I know September to December for me is all fourth quarter. So it's just amazing that during this time where tremendous growth is supposed to happen and so much potential of increased sales is supposed to happen, we have so many people that are dropping out of the game and just calling it quits so soon. So For those of you that are on the fence and thinking twice and wanting to, reconsider, I'm not going to call you a quitter. I'm not going to call you a loser or anything like that. But you definitely just have to, trust the process. Everybody's journey is going to be different. I have different conversations with friends and other people all the time. And I swear that conversation happens. I say that same phrase a couple times a week. Everybody's journey is different. This is my 3rd year in business, approaching the 4th year. In February, it'll be my 4th year doing this full time. And I've experienced a lot of success early on, especially when I was hitting all those thrift stores in Santa Barbara. I moved to Arizona and I had to make a pivot. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to also understand when it comes to reselling and business in general. You have to make pivots along the way. When I say make a pivot, you might need to make just a simple adjustment to your everyday process that you've become accustomed to doing. And you might just need to switch it up just a little bit in order to, increase some sales or just get that energy and that fervor to keep going. And anytime I get emails and I get comments from people saying, oh, I'm done with this, or some people might say, oh, eBay is dead, Poshmark is dead. I know I'm good for telling people Poshmark is dead because it's dead to me. But I get these comments all the time and people just throw in the towel. But for those of us that want to make this a long-term play, just remember, everybody's journey is different. And there's always another step. There's always another level to your business. So if you find yourself, maybe you're a little stagnated right now, or sales might be a little slow for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, it's just part of the game. It's business. I dropped a video a couple of days ago where I was telling you guys earlier in the month of September, I experienced very slow sales. I had a day where I made $0 in sales from every platform I sell on. And then there was a couple other days where I made no more than $60 on eBay. So when times like that happen, I didn't run a promotion or a sale. It's been probably a year and a half since the last time I ran an actual eBay sale. And that helped spike a ton of sales. It brought in, I think, overall just about maybe almost 3,000 in gross sales from just running a eBay promotion. And that was a pivot. I was one of those people that said all the time, oh, I don't run sales. I price my stuff correctly, so I don't need to do that. But it just goes to show you have to make changes. You have to make pivots. And if you want to stay in the game, you're going to have to adjust. Every few months is going to have to be an adjustment. So I just wanted to get that out the way and just kind of share that message, because I'm starting to see those comments and I'm getting these emails. And for some people, they might say, oh, if the more people dropping out of eBay, the better it is for the more experienced sellers. And I don't necessarily think that way. I think there's enough money and enough things out there for us to sell so everybody can, just gain some money, earn some profit. So I definitely just think it's just a matter of time until things adjust. But you have to adjust as well in order to get the outcome that you want. So definitely stick with it. Don't quit. Just the number one thing with being successful, those that are successful, the number one thing is that they just didn't quit. We never see the hills and the valleys along the way, but they just never quit. So for me, even if I have a slow week, a slow month, a slow year, the plan is just not to quit. So I'm going to be successful, and you'll see that next level as long as you don't quit. That's the message. That's it. So like I said, let me hop back into the chat and see how everybody is doing, because I just had to get that off my chest, because I've seen this is maybe 7 comments or between 7 comments and maybe 3 or 4 emails in the last 2 weeks where people are asking me, can I buy their stuff? And they're on the East Coast. So in terms of shipping, it's not even going to make sense. You know what I mean? For me to spend that amount of money on shipping unless I give them a terrible offer. So it's one of those things where, I seen that somewhere here, right? Coach Hustle. It's a marathon. This was the title of my last live video. The whole entrepreneurship journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a race to who can get to $1 million first or who can get to $1 billion first. As long as you get there, you get there. You win when you win. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Let me hop in the chat, see what's going on in here. We got Coach Hustler in here. What's going on? We got Sonia from Miami. We got a few people in here. Coach Hustle, how's the shoe game? The shoe game is definitely still prospering, still doing very well. I think the shoe game is very popular right now. It's very trendy. A lot of people are trying to get into the shoe game, and they're selling a bunch of dope stuff. As you all know, the hype shoes, it's tons of hills and valleys. One week something is hype, the next week nobody wants it anymore. And for that reason is why I don't necessarily deal within the hype categories. I sell a lot of the basics, a lot of shoes that one thing I'll say, my intended customer, because as a business owner, you always have to think of who the customer that you have in mind. So my customer is not the person that's willing to spend $1,000 on some shoes. I might have a couple items in my store that's worth a significant amount of money, but my ideal customer is the person that may have bought 4 or 5 pairs of shoes for the year, and they see something that they like, they think it's comfortable, they think it's dope, they go ahead and they buy it $100 or less, and they're happy with it, they're good to go. So that's the market I like to play in terms of the shoes. I know a lot of other people on here, it's on eBay, on YouTube, all these different platforms. They sell Travis Scotts, they sell Yeezys, they got bots, they do this, they do that. And those types of things is dope. It's a lot more money involved. But for me, my intended customer is just the person that, enjoys sneakers, want to spend, maybe 100, maybe 120, 130 on some shoes, buy a few pairs of shoes a year, and that's it. So that's how I'm viewing the whole shoe game as a whole. And I think that's why my business has been sustainable. And it's growing it's growing at a steady rate. It's not getting crazy to the point where I'm swimming in money like Scrooge McDuck. I'm not, rich yet, but it's sustainable to the point where I've reached that goal, what I always wanted to be, just comfortable in terms of reselling. I remember at one point when I first started, I was literally just hustling to pay the rent. As long as I can pay the rent this month, I'm good. And thank God I've never had to borrow money or take out a loan or, ask favors and stuff like that. The business has continued to grow. But now I'm reaching that next stage where I'm trying to grow the business and just see how far we can take things. And, me selling more of the average shoe, that is definitely a part of the future. That is part of the game plan for sure. Let's see. Did you scoop up a pallet yet? So I did not get any pallets or any liquidation lots or anything like that. I came across a really good site that I'm going to try out just from my journey so far with the wholesale stuff. I know somebody did ask in the comments. I briefly seen it. Someone said, how's your wholesale journey doing? Just recently, I came across a really good website. It was actually a referral. Somebody that watches the video sent me an email and shared one of their liquidators with me. So I'm not going to put that source out there because I didn't order it yet, so I don't feel comfortable, sharing the source yet. But I'm eventually going to order a pallet from them, probably do an unboxing on the channel and just see. Because I think the last time I did a wholesale unboxing, it was more of like a sponsored video. So they just sent me a pallet. And for me, it was a really good pallet. But a lot of people also said, well, it wasn't a pallet. It was just a wholesale box. And a lot of people said that, when you're doing these sponsored boxes, on sponsored unboxings, the companies tend to give you all the good stuff, and then they try to make their money on the back end by the people that order boxes. So for me, I'm not going to approach any liquidators or wholesale companies and let them know that I have a YouTube channel or anything like that. I'm just going to try ordering some boxes, do some unboxings on the channel, and I'm going to just play it by ear and see how that goes. But I think one big thing is that it's so easy to find clothing, especially women's clothing by wholesale or liquidation. That's probably the first things that I come across. And I'm not just talking about liquidation.com or bulk.com or anything within the first 30 pages of Google. I'm telling you guys the research that I do now. Now I wake up around 7:30, 8 o'clock every day, and I start my day by just trying to do some online sourcing, trying to figure out, what websites are actually good, which websites are reputable, which ones have manifests, who has reviews. So I've been spending a lot of time trying to do that, and it's going to take a while until I come across a really good source. But I really just been doing a lot of reverse engineering in the sense of trying to figure out which items to source, which wholesalers to get them from, and stuff like that. So the wholesale journey so far, we're still in the research phase, the research and development, but so far so good. I feel like I'm getting some good knowledge. People are starting to share some sources with me, and it's all about just putting that energy out. You know what I mean? It's all about trying to provide value to other people, and then because that's how I got that's how I got that referral as well. Somebody sent me an email, asked me a question, answered the question really quickly, and then shortly afterwards they let me know one of their liquidator sources, only because I help them and they help me. So that's one of the things that I always tell people when it comes to building a network or just trying to build partnerships. It's all about shared value, creating value, and just trying to lead with love and just be positive. So far so good, like I said. But there's so many websites out there where you can just get clothing, either men's or women's clothing, shelf pulls, returns, all those types of stuff. But clothing is not something I want to do. Like I might order a couple clothing boxes just to give it a try, but clothing just takes too much time in the sense of steaming, measurements, the flat lay photos, all those types of stuff. It's a lot of work involved. That's why I'm not necessarily into the clothing. But right now in particular, it's so easy to find clothing right now. So easy. A little too easy. Let's see. I made $300 profit yesterday and I didn't make one dime today. Got to stick in there. It's not easy. That's how the game is. That's literally how the game is. Some days you're going to make, big money. You're going to make a ton of profit, and the next day might be slow, and then the following day might be slow. And then the next day you might recoup all that money that, you thought you didn't gain the previous couple of days. It's all about, just sticking with it. Staying in the game, trusting the process. All the cliche things that, people say all the time, but it's true. It literally is true. This is my new retirement jobs because of what I've learned from you in the last 11 months. This is work, but I'm in. That's the right attitude right there. And I'm glad I was able to help a few people. I love when I get comments from people that say, I help them along their journey and stuff like that, because this is what I'm doing it for. At the end of the day, it's all about just trying to give people that, show people the good, the bad, but also give them that encouragement to just keep going. Because one thing that I've started telling myself, and I've been saying this to myself often, I do a lot of self-talking, just one more, just give it one more try. And that could be as simple as when I'm in the gym, just one more rep. The goal might be, okay, 5 sets of 12. And that last set, I might just try to do 13. Just give it one more. Then I might be sourcing, driving around to different stores. I might go to 3 stores and I might not have got anything in that last store. And I'll tell myself, all right, just one more store. And I think that's the attitude to have, especially if you're in this phase where, a lot of people are just wanting to give up and trying to figure out how the business is going to work and how they're going to make money. Just try one more time. Just keep telling yourself just one more time. And I'm not going to say you do it until, you go crazy. But literally, just tell yourself those types of things. Just one more time. Give it one more shot. One more store. And it works. One more month. You know what I mean? And that attitude, it definitely goes such a long way. So let's see who else is in the chat. Let's see what people are talking about. Let's see. You're so right. Reselling is strictly business, ups and downs. Absolutely. Every business is full of ups and downs, but I think reselling in particular, especially if you're, at the stage where I'm at now, where, I'm still doing retail arbitrage, I'm still running around to different stores. It's a grind, you know what I mean? And if you're not up for the game, if you're not up for, I guess, the healthy competition of it, I think those are the ones that tend to quit a lot faster. And the thing for me, I'm wanting to get out of that whole, I call it the reseller rat race, where we're literally just running to different outlets and different stores and trying to figure things out. That's why I'm trying to do more wholesale and stuff like that, so items can come to me without me having to run around. But it's all just part of the game. I think it was pivotal and super, super essential for me to kind of, see what it's like having to run around to these different stores and gain that experience and see what I can do and see the numbers I can do with that type of game plan, but then also see what the game plan would look like once I start doing more wholesale and liquidation. So definitely a exciting journey. Can't wait to see what's going on. Let's see. Goat sales on fire. Don't sleep. Goat is, keep hearing people talk about Goat, and I just got on Mercari. Made a couple sales on Mercari, so I'm glad about that. But Goat is one thing that I need to get on. Look how long it took me to get on to Mercari. Let's start there. It took me I've been saying I'm gonna get on Mercari for at least 6 months, and I finally did it. So like I told you guys before, I was all about eBay and Poshmark. And Poshmark, I'm just waiting until everything in the inventory kind of sells out. but Mercari, I think, has a lot of potential. Their fees aren't as bad as Poshmark as well. So that's something that I'm enjoying. But GOAT is definitely going to be the next platform I try out. I don't want to get on too many platforms because I don't want to have to, maintain too many different platforms. But GOAT, I think I'm hearing a lot of good things about GOAT. So that might have to be the next one. Let's see. I'm sorry if you already mentioned this in some of your videos. I got to catch up. But what are your thoughts on Mercari? Oh, just answered that. It just answered that question. Yeah, Mercari is a good platform. I don't necessarily like the fact that you have to wait 3 days to like say somebody likes one of your items. You have to wait 3 days until you can send out another like a like to offer. Offer to likers with that, like kind of like the Poshmark and eBay feature. Mercari makes you wait 3 days in order to keep sending those out. So I don't necessarily like that, but it is what it is. Every platform has its pros, has its cons, but I only made 2 sales on there so far. So I'm no Mercari pro by any means. I'm just trying to get my feet wet and just make sure that I'm not too heavily reliant on one platform. I found myself becoming very reliant on eBay because that's where all my sales were coming from. And that's where all my sales were for the majority of my time reselling. The majority of my sales always came from eBay, but I was building up Poshmark steadily and I was enjoying that platform. But once the bot started really playing a big feature, and once my price point started to rise, I realized that Poshmark wasn't the platform for me. But when I was selling items that $20 to $30 range, you could kill it on Poshmark all day long. But for me, I just wasn't doing it anymore. What's your favorite brand shoes to sell? I'm still Nike and Adidas all day long. Nike, Adidas, it works. Those are the popular brands. That's what people love to sell. Hoka 11 was also another really solid brand. But now that I'm in Arizona, I don't find that brand as often as I used to. I used to come across that brand at least every other day while I was in the thrift or even doing retail arbitrage. Excuse me, I would always come across Hoka 11, but now not so much. But at this point, Nike, Adidas, still the best brands in my opinion. Let's see. When sourcing at Ross/Burlington, I'm noticing new shoes look worn from people trying them on. Or do you still list it as new? Lately, I've been leaving it, but I'm not sure if I'm leaving money on the table. That's a good question. I see shoes every once in a while. Sometimes you might see the sticker, the Ross sticker might be a little faded. So clearly somebody tried it on, or sometimes the bottom of the shoe might be worn. Somebody tried it on and walked around the store. Sometimes people do a lot of scummy stuff and they'll buy the shoe, wear it around, and then return it. And sometimes Ross accepts those returns. Sometimes, depending on who's at the register, they tell you to get out of here with that. But I do see a lot of times, even in outlets, you might see some shoes that were tried on or dirty. The dirty shoes, honestly, I tend to pass on those. Some shoes I might try to clean it up if it's a very small, like if it's one shoe that might be a little stained and the other shoe clearly was never touched, I might take a chance on that. But for the most part, I'm trying to step away from doing extra work. I was really into buying used shoes, putting it into the washing machine, scrubbing it by hand with a bristle brush. I was really down for that. Like I used to enjoy that. It was peaceful. It was common. Now I don't have that much time to spend, cleaning up used shoes or cleaning up stains and stuff like that. That's why I'm not into selling clothing anymore either. So don't feel that you're necessarily leaving money on the table. I usually equate it to, if it's a shoe that needs a lot of work, and I could make $20 profit, is it really necessary for me? Is it really worth it for me to spend the time cleaning the shoe when I can spend that time finding and listing other items that can bring in more profit? So that's just one way for you to look at it. But it really just depends on what your goals are and, what you're trying to do. Some people leave no money on the table no matter what. Some people will pick that up, clean the shoe, and do what they got to do and get that money. And I salute you. But I've done that in the past, and I'm just trying to do something else. Which store have you got the best pickups at? Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, etc. So it's definitely been Ross. Like, honestly, the outlets have still been the best for me so far. Ross, Burlington, and Marshalls was very, very slow for the entire month of September. Altogether, I probably grabbed maybe 100 pairs from Ross, but I'm usually getting 200 to 300 pairs from Ross any given month. So it was very slow in terms of just them restocking has been very slow. The Burlingtons that I usually frequent, the ones that's, right near my house, and the others that's not too far, those are also very, very dry. So I don't necessarily go to Burlington that much. But the outlets, in terms of the Nike outlet and the Adidas outlet, I've been finding some of the best deals overall. So far, the Nike outlet in particular, they're even cheaper than some shoes in Ross. It might be the same shoe, but in the outlet, they'll include the box and they'll also be cheaper. So I've been just hitting up more Nike outlets and doing it that way. But lately I've even seen that in the Nike outlet, the prices are going up just a little bit too. Some shoes that were, maybe 60, 70 bucks 2 weeks ago, now they're 89 or maybe $100 now. So it's kind of tricky. They tend to play games with their pricing every once in a while. So you got to be aware of that type of stuff too. Let's see. This is so inspiring. I think we all get the I want to quit itch. Yeah, man, it happens. And trust me when I tell you, we all get those feelings. I get those feelings as well. And that's why I think it's so important for us to, kind of share those emotions and share those feelings on, if you got a platform, if you're big on Instagram, talk about it, put it out in a Twitter post, put it out. Let the conversation go. So that you're not alone, but you'll also understand that you're not alone, but there's other people that felt those same things and they kept going. So for me, there's been so many times where I said, if I went back to work a job, I probably would be making, I probably wouldn't make the same money. I'll be lying if I did that, but if I said that, but if I went back to get a regular job, I'd still be making a decent amount of money. So I always would think of stuff like that. And this was especially that first year, I always had those thoughts, that back and forth. But now I'm just sticking with it, being consistent, as the shirt say. It's all about consistency and just sticking with it. That's how you win. Well, that's what's up. You are a big help to all of us. That's what's up. I appreciate you, Jay Brown. I appreciate that. Let's see. Do you have any specific people who motivate you or someone who inspires business-wise? Business-wise, not necessarily. I follow a couple people on YouTube, and they definitely do inspire me. Mike Rashid is one of them. I don't know if you guys follow fitness channels and stuff like that, but Mike Rashid's journey was definitely very, very inspiring. I'm trying to think of people within the reselling YouTube. Hustler Hacks is another one. Just watching his journey. I remember when I lived in California and we just had one Ross around my house, and I would go to that Ross faithfully. Anytime he dropped a video, it would give me that excitement to want to go to Ross. And of course, at that point, I didn't really have too much money to invest into the business. So spending 50, 60 bucks on a pair of shoes during those days was almost impossible, right? I'm not even going to front. But the worst part of it was the fact that the Ross that I had in California was terrible. So the stuff that he would find, I would never get those types of things there. So he's definitely somebody that really, really does inspire me. Anytime I see, some of these other YouTubers just doing well. And the thing is, to me, I don't know if I'm good with just reading people, but it's easy for me to see the real and see the fake. And when people are in business and they make it seem like everything is so easy and they're killing it and they're making so much money, they're so rich, I tend to unless I've been following their journey and I could see the growth, I tend to, click away from those type of channels. I don't even pay too much attention to it. But Hustler Hacks, Mike Rashid, there's a couple people that just come to mind where I'm like, they're doing really well and they give me some good outlook on how far I can actually take business in general. Because like I said, Mike Rashid is more fitness based. He has supplement company. He has a supplement company and clothing lines and stuff like that. Hustle Hacks does more Ross and Nike outlet videos. So just different people in different lanes tend to inspire me. Let's see. I sometimes find Salvatore Ferragamo in the thrift for $20 and sell it for $99. That's what's up. That reminds me, I remember I picked up a bunch of Ferragamo shoes in San Diego the last time we went. We actually going to be going back out there soon, so I'll probably drop a trip to the thrift in San Diego really soon. But I found 6 or 7 pairs of Ferragamo shoes. We sold them for just roughly like, I think I spent $6 on each shoe, picked up a few of them. On average, I sold them for about 80. I think I sold one for like 150, and it was the one with the horse bit loafers. Those sold really well, but for the most part, I was selling them for like 70, $80. But if you can get some good Ferragamo shoes, people would spend that money for sure. People would spend that money because it's quality shoes. It's quality. Let's see. Appreciate your knowledge from Anaheim, California. That's what's up. That's what's up. Glad I could help, bro. Glad I could help. Let's see. Do you offer free shipping on Mercari? Yes, I do. I offer free shipping the same way I would on eBay. And not only that, I like the fact that you can still use pirate ship to ship out orders on Mercari. Mercari, I think they have a partnership with UPS. So that's probably one of the first, like when I create a listing, that's like the default that they always offer if you want to ship it with UPS. And I think it's like a $10 flat rate thing, but it's actually still cheaper for me to ship with Mercari. Sometimes it might be $8.50, sometimes it might be $9.50, even if it's going on the East Coast. But I still like using pirate ship to just save that money on shipping and kind of try to bake the cost of shipping into the price. But since I'm brand new to Mercari, I'm not pricing my stuff too high. I'm still trying to, garner the feedback, attract new buyers, and just trying to build up a reputation, because when you're reselling on any platform, your reputation is key. And the thing that I do like about Mercari is the fact that it almost forces the buyer and the seller to leave feedback. When I made my first sale, in order for me to retrieve the funds, I had to leave the buyer feedback, and the buyer left me feedback as well. So not like eBay where some people leave feedback, some people don't. Almost 70% of buyers don't leave feedback on eBay. So it was refreshing to make one sale and then get a feedback shortly after. So definitely glad about that. But so far, I like Mercari. You also asked, do you use social media to sell? Not anymore. I used to sell a lot of items just through my Instagram story, but I don't do that anymore. I might create a separate Instagram and try to do something like that, but I don't usually do that. I think I was doing pretty well with it when I first started, but at that point I was selling like ties and tie clips and suspenders. So it was just light things that was easy to just pack up and ship. But not saying that it's a bad idea to do it. I think it's a really good idea to sell on social media. You can just kind of avoid paying fees. But for me, it just wasn't something I was interested in, especially since my Instagram is completely like unrelated to reselling. Let's see. Good evening. Haven't seen your channel before, but 17.5K subscribers already. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much. The channel is growing. It's not huge boom of subscribers, but I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm not even one of those people that's just trying to gain a bunch of subscribers. I'm just, as long as people are gaining some information and they're enjoying the content, that's what I'm happy with. And one day we'll probably hit 100,000 subscribers. It might be 2-3 years from now, but I'm just enjoying the journey. However we get there, we get there. Let's see. This is an interesting question. Do you sell NBA cards, NFL, or Pokemon cards? Now, I'm hearing that this is where the market is moving. Like a lot of people are getting into selling these trading cards now. These NBA, these NFL cards. I'm not into it, but I might have to learn more. I might have to start doing some research. Be on the lookout for some more sport cards and that type of content, because honestly, I'm trying not to be too bound to selling one particular category or just one particular item. If people are willing to spend good money on these sports cards, I'll start investing in sports cards. I just remember seeing a lot of older baseball cards and football cards in thrift stores. It might be a binder full of them for $1, the whole binder for $1. And now, these cards are selling for thousands of dollars. So I wish I still had my Pokemon cards and my Yu-Gi-Oh! And what was the other one? I don't remember. All those cards that I had growing up. I wish I still had them. I think I have maybe a couple decks in my mom's house, but I wish I did, because I used to take care of all my stuff. And man, the money is The money is there. Yes, Chris at Daily Refinement is good too. Absolutely. That's somebody else who I follow his channel, and I followed his journey for a while. He was one of the before I even got onto YouTube, I used to watch his channel, and I like the fact that especially now he's very straight to the point. His videos are much more condensed, and he gives a lot of real facts, and it's based on, from experience, you know what I mean? And he's definitely on he's definitely doing much bigger numbers than I am. I know that for a fact, just from the conversations that he has and the amount of packages he ships. I know he's doing really well. He has a couple people that he works with, so he's at a different level. But it's inspiring to see somebody, just taking their business to that next level. Some people think that reselling, the only way to do it is to either do it out of your garage or you hire a bunch of people and you open up a warehouse. But he's hired a couple people and he's running it out of 2 storage units. So it's really good to see other people just doing it their own way and making money. So shout out to him. I met him at Posh Fest, and he's the exact same person that he is online. So that's always good to see, because I hate when I meet somebody in person and they're completely different compared to what they are in life. I sold a few Kobe cards and made a nice profit on eBay. Yeah, anything Kobe, people are going to be wanting to pick up. I actually took a few of the Kobe stuff that I had when he first passed. I took a few stuff down because I just didn't feel like, selling stuff like that right after he passed. But I mean, people are going to be buying up his cards, his jerseys, his shoes. Kobe's a legend, man. Shout out to the GOAT. One of the GOATs. Let's see. What's a day like for you? Working out, sourcing, listing. Do you have a system for that or a set schedule? Do you have a daily listing goal? That's a really good question. So a typical day for me, like I said, I wake up around 7:30. Sometimes today, for instance, I woke up at 7. First thing I did was start doing some more research on wholesale companies, and I tend to do a lot of reverse engineering. So this is a really good tip for those of you that might be in a similar situation as I am. I tend to I'd either go on Amazon or I might even go on eBay, and I'll just search some of the best selling items, and I'll try to find whatever the best selling item is, and then I'll go to that seller's store and I'll try to see whatever other items they're selling, and then I'll try to figure out where they're getting those items from. And I'll just keep doing that over and over and over again. And I might find myself in a whole rabbit hole down something completely different, but I think that's just the best way to do it. The best way to do anything in life, really, find somebody that's doing what you want to do at the level of which you want to do it at and copy what they're doing. Simple. That's why I'll go to Ross and I'll show people, hey, this is what I'm picking up. This is how much I'm selling it for. If you go to Ross and you find it too, please list it around the same price so that we're not undercutting each other and the market can stay the same. But that's the easiest way to do it for me. In the sense of after I'm done with that, it's usually around 9:30. I'll ship out whatever packages that I have. Then I'll head off to Ross or head over to Marshall's, any other stores in the area. Usually by 12 o'clock, I try to be home again, make sure I eat. Then head back on the computer, either do any social media work that I have to do, any brand partnerships that I have to work out, any YouTube videos I might have to create, try to make sure I handle those things. And then between like maybe 3 to like 5 is when I'm in the gym. Every day is different. Some days I get there a little earlier, some days a little longer, but I'm just trying to make sure I hit the gym for at least an hour and a half at least. I used to do 40 minutes, but I'm in a really intense workout period in my life right now where I'm just trying to get in the best shape ever. So I'm spending more time in the gym. And then outside of that, I come home, relax, chill with the wife, and then do the same thing all over again. Not the exact same thing, but it's usually just I try to do some YouTube work, try to do some reselling work, try to do some social media work, try to see if we can find this house. Right now, it's a lot of stuff going in the air right now, but just trying to make it work one day at a time. Like I said, just trust in the process. Let's see. For hype shoes, do you sell them right away or wait and take the chance for them to increase in price? So I'm not the guy that sells hype shoes. I'm not even that guy. The few hype shoes that I sold them quick. Like I didn't even wait. I remember I had a couple pairs of the Wave Runners, and this was this had to be 2018, maybe 2017 when the Wave Runners was new. and I actually hit on the Easy Supply app, on the Easy Supply website. So I grabbed up a pair, it wasn't even in my size, and I sold them super quickly, because this is earlier on in the resale game when I didn't have that much money and Yeezys was super expensive. So I was just trying to get my money back. So I made maybe $50 on those shoes, and thankfully they kept restocking. So it's not like I lost out on money. But if I was to start selling hype stuff now, I would probably wait. I would probably hold. Just seeing the sneaker market how it is, it's usually best to just hold. Those that sell their stuff fast tend to regret it. But if you have the patience and if you have the capital to hold, I would suggest just holding it down, just waiting. Because just imagine those off-white Jordan 1s, the bread colorway. People were clamoring for those and they were selling for like $500-600. People bought them at retail for $160, $170, and they thought they came up. Those that held them and they're still holding were able to sell them for $2,500 plus. So those that hold it and have the patience and have the capital to afford to hold it usually come out on top. Let's see. Picked up LA Lakers LeBron basketball shorts at Ross on Saturday for $12.99 and Chicago Bulls for $7.99. That's what's up. Which are they? I hope they wasn't like those NBA shorts. Like the brand is just NBA, because I don't know how well those are going to be selling. But if they were some Nike sportswear related stuff, those are the type of stuff I usually pick up from Ross. Once I sell all these clothes, I'm sticking to men's shoes. It's so much easier. Plus the profit is higher. Yeah, I agree. The thing with clothes, I still sell clothes every once in a while. Like I said, Nike sportswear is selling really well for me. Jackets and coats is really hot right now too. So of course, if I can find some stuff that's worth it, I'm gonna pick it up. But it's just a lot of work involved in selling clothing. So it's one of those things where I kind of just weighed the pros and the cons, and I realized it wasn't beneficial for me to keep it going. Let's see. Do you ever look for antique/collectibles on YouTube? Dr.Lori is great. Makes videos for thrifters. I'm gonna have to check it out. When I was living in Buffalo at the time, and I was working at Buffalo State College, I used to go to estate sales for fun. Like that was like a hobby for me. On my lunch break, I would go check out different estate sales, see what they had. And this is before I ever even thought of reselling anything. And I would just go and see if I can find like vintage tie clips or a vintage tie or vintage suits. Like that was my thing. Like I really enjoyed it. So in terms of like trying to sell collectibles, I feel like I kind of missed my prime opportunity to start doing that. But I'm trying to get back into the estate sale game. I downloaded the app. You guys can do it too. It's the garage sale app, and they have a bunch of estate sale apps as well. And you can just, go to different random estate sales within your area. You can set it to say 5 to 10 miles away. I think it's GSALR. I think that's the name of the app. I'm just trying to start going just a little more. I got a really good deal a couple weeks ago where I picked up these it was like recessed lighting from Home Depot. Somebody that was actually buying auctions were selling these recessed lighting equipment. And I bought all 6 for $12 a piece, and I sold all 6 to one buyer for, in terms of profit, I made about $200 in profit. And I shipped them out through UPS. So that was a really good flip. And it also just put me onto that website where she gets some of her like inventory for her store, for her garage sale stuff. So I'm definitely going to try to start doing more estate sales and more garage sales, mainly for the networking, because you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what opportunities might come your way. And at the end of the day, you never know what you find. Some of these estate sales are crazy where you find some amazing stuff. So that's definitely something I'm trying to get into for sure. Now, let's see. Picked up an Xbox One guitar Fender limited guitar for $3 and sold it for $120 last week. Wow. That's a bolo for everybody. That's something to be on the lookout for. Xbox One guitars. I remember those guitars. I used to see them all the time. And this is before I used to ship on pirate ship. It's a very awkward shape. So I would think it would take too much to ship. It would be super expensive. But if you guys are shipping through a pirate ship like myself, you can't go wrong. You know, you'd save money and be able to ship that out, no problem. Definitely be on the lookout for that. Xbox One guitars. Those, I think you use that for Rock Band or Rockstar or one of those types of games. But people are buying gaming equipment now for sure. Let's see. I don't know a ton about cleats. What are the names / brands of the cleats at Ross and stuff that are best for reselling? I hate to be that person, but you're gonna have to do the research. It's even kind of hard for me to even describe it, especially with cleats, because I'm not really big into cleats either. When I say do the research, a couple of days you might have to just go into Ross and go into Marshalls and literally type in the style code on the shoes into eBay. So you might type in Nike and whatever the style code is. It's usually it's on the size tag, and it usually might start with a couple letters. If we're talking about Nike shoes and Adidas shoes, it's usually like a EE or EF or BB, something along those lines. And just check the comps. That's the best way for me to describe it. That's how I learned how to do it. That's how I learned that's how I developed an eye. Once you've seen certain stuff, you've touched it, you've looked it up, you've felt the quality, you'd be able to see without even necessarily doing a ton of research, just by picking it up and looking at it. Okay, yeah, this is quality. I'll take a chance on this. So definitely just got to do the research. Let's see. What's the best printer for reselling? This is a good question. So I don't know what the best printer is because I've only used one. I use the Dymo 4XL. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people say that's the only one they use. Some people say it's too expensive, so they would never use it. That's the one I use. I made a video where I did a review, and it wasn't a sponsored review. It was just my honest opinion, and I like it a lot. There's a ton of other thermal printers that people like. I wish I could think of the name off the top of my head, but I know Rollo is one that you could check out. Brother and Epson also has some cheaper alternatives. And I've heard some people in previous videos say that some of the thermal printers they use, they're ugly, but they get the job done. Some people say some are kind of bulky and heavy, and it takes up too much space on the desk, so they don't like it. But there's tons of options out there. I just suggest a thermal printer probably is your best option, only because it has that adhesive and it prints out really, really quickly. So you don't have to waste time taping all four corners and stuff like that. But I think you could also just buy, you could use any printer and just buy the paper that has the adhesive labels and do the same thing. But I use the Dymo 4XL, and that's what I like. Let's see. When Burlington had opened back up with that big sale, I had tons of Nike and Adidas cleats for $5, but no sales yet. See, that's very interesting. I'm glad you mentioned that. So when Ross and, like you said, Burlington, all these stores opened back up, I remember I bought a ton of cleats, baseball cleats and football cleats in particular, a ton of cleats. I still have some of them. Some of those cleats I spent as cheap as 50 cents, and some I spent about $2.50. The average cost I would probably say was $2 on average. I still have a lot of those cleats left. I've told myself I'm not going to do that anymore, mainly because I bought those cleats for $2.50. Everybody else across the country bought those same cleats. Everywhere there's a Ross, people bought those same cleats for $2.50, and the price went from $30 to $40 all the way down to $20 to $15, where you're still making profit, but the profit is so small that it's not even worth it, especially when you're selling shoes. So when it comes to those really cheap cleats, I'm gonna try to sell the ones that I have, but I'm no longer gonna buy too many of them. If I can find a couple here or there in a good size, $2.50, why not? But I bought maybe 100 pairs of those cheap cleats, and I still have maybe 50. So when it comes to the cheap cleats, man, it's I don't know. I don't think it's that worth it. But that's just my opinion. Cleats are dead unless they are high-end cleats. No outdoor sports going right now, at least not a lot. So I've been selling cleats. The cheap ones, not so much, but I've been selling some of those like Adidas football cleats. I've been selling those. I had some Nike baseball cleats that I sold not too long ago. So I'm selling cleats. They're not flying off the shelves, but you're right. Unless they're like super high end, it's not worth picking up. But there is a lot of football. Football is back, and a lot of people are picking up football cleats. So if there's any cleat that you're gonna pick up right now, I would suggest picking up football cleats. I just got some New Balances. Should I sell? Absolutely. Absolutely. New Balance is on fire right now. I don't know which model you got, but New Balances are on fire. I think between New Balance and Puma, biggest I can't even call it a comeback because they were always here, but just the I guess most improved brands between Puma and New Balance, they're doing a lot. They're doing good. I even bought the Puma tracksuit with the Nipsey collab that he did with Puma. I even bought the tracksuit. I didn't own anything Puma in my whole life, but because they did a collab with Nip, I had to get it. I had to grab it up. So, my opinion, Puma is on the come up. New Balances flying off the shelves. Sell it. Thanks for the pirate ship tip. I haven't done anything else since, and not only have I saved, but I can't even say that I made a few dollars back. Huge difference. That's what's up. You're probably using like one of your credit cards for reward, so you're making some money back. So that's what's up. You're doing it right. You are doing it right. Let's see. Printers, I'm going to look for the Epson Eco Tank. The ink is supposed to last a year or so. Wow, that's a long time for some ink. And that's the thing with the thermal printers. So when I purchased it, I knew I was still going to have to pay for labels, but I was excited that I wouldn't have to purchase ink anymore because the type of printer I had was it's one of those old Canon printers. So it was printing very, very slow. I wasn't using adhesive labels, so I had to tape all four corners to make sure that, it didn't get ripped off. Excuse me. But like I said, it was printing slow. I had to tape all four corners, and I was spending a ton of money on ink. The Canon printer that I had was like $50 for color ink and like $40 for black ink. So I was just spending a ton of money on ink. And so once I started making more consistent sales, I realized that it was just a better investment for me to get a thermal printer. The downside to the thermal printers is that those labels aren't cheap. You still got to spend, sometimes $25 for maybe a few hundred labels. So it's still cost effective, but it's not just because you're saving money on ink doesn't mean you're not going to have to spend money on the labels. So it's definitely something to consider, but I just say get a printer. As long as you're not wasting your time standing online in the post office, you're good to go. Let's see. I've never heard of the GOAT selling app. I'm going to check it out. Absolutely. GOAT. You can sell used shoes on GOAT and new shoes as well. Here I am giving people tips. I don't even use GOAT, but I'm going to get on it because too much people are telling me about it. And I got some shoes that I have shoes that I'm surprised that it didn't sell yet. And I think it's only because, the market might be, flooded or saturated on eBay. And on GOAT, somebody might be searching for that same item that I have. So for that reason, battery died. Give me 2 minutes, y'all. I came prepared for this. Battery died with this Sony camera. Let's see, I'll be back. I'll be live. All right, we are back. Yeah, that battery always dies on me. Anytime I'm approaching an hour, I know the battery's going to die. But yeah, definitely want to try out GOAT. I know for a fact that a lot of people are doing well on that platform, so I'm going to give it a shot and see how it plays out. Let's see. I don't know if it's just me, but you keep on lagging out sometimes, but it might just be it. And I don't know. I probably am lagging a little bit. Unless they are Jordan cleats, I'm passing for the most part. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people pick up those Jordan 1, those Chicago color cleats. Hopefully the price point stays up there. I didn't find any in my Burlington or Marshalls or anything like that. I didn't see any, but that's the thing. Anytime I see a lot of people posting it on on Hustler Hack's page, or they're tagging him, that's usually when the price starts to tank, because everybody grabs it up. And then there's somebody that, if the shoe was selling for 100 plus 1 week, everybody starts tanking the price. And then before you know it, starts selling for $50 if you're lucky. Let's see. I use Dymo 4XL and I heard Rollo is good too. Absolutely. Rollo is pretty solid. I've done well with vintage rock tees. Most I bought for under $5 and sold for 65 to 85. That's what's up. Vintage is huge. Vintage right now, and this has been trending for maybe 2-3 years, where vintage is been really big. But I think especially now with these t-shirts, I'm seeing people spend $500-$600 on vintage t-shirts. It's crazy. If you are low on capital and you're still trying to do and you're trying to figure out I guess an arena to source, go to thrift stores and just hit the t-shirt sections, because you can get a lot of money if you find the right t-shirts, if you know what to search for. But that is definitely where the market is headed towards right now. Let's see. How often do you pick up golf shoes? So during the summer, golf shoes was really big. It made a lot of sense to buy golf shoes during the summer. Right now, I'm not really seeing them too often. I'm not seeing them like I used to. Like during that spring, like right before spring actually happens, you'd start seeing a lot of golf shoes hit the shelves. And that's when I try to grab them up, because during the summer, a lot of golf clothing, a lot of golf shoes, it's really popular. During the winter, I don't think people, buy golf shoes and stuff like that. So if I was to see them now, I probably would still pick them up, but I wouldn't expect them to sell anytime soon. Golf stuff, at least for me, I haven't sold anything golf related in a while. And I have a few shoes that's just sitting. Goat has some great SEO for the listings you put up, so your listed shoes end up showing in Google searches that might not show on eBay or other sites. That's a really good tip. And that's another good reason to, get on the Goat. You just enforcing it for me, because I'm like, as soon as we get off here, I am making it happen. This was another helpful and informative live. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. That's what it's all about. Hey, Akil, you might want to change your time because you are competing with Thursday night football. It's halftime right now, maybe an hour earlier. It's a good point. Yeah, I know I can't compete with football, that's for sure. But you could always just you could always watch the game and just have me playing in the background. You know what I mean? Just have me just listening later on in the back, or just watch the replay too. I think I just wanted to get a consistent time where people can just get used to me doing the shows. And I think a few people now are used to doing Thursday at 6. So I'm going to keep it at Thursday at 6, but that's the best part of YouTube. It'll be there. I'll throw some highlight clips later on as well. I'm gonna head out. Keep up the good streams. That's what's up. I'm about to head out here as well. Almost an hour. I'm gonna head out here as well. Don't forget to hit that like button before you leave. What type of items do you think are good to put up for auction? I've been doing more 10-day auctions, Thursday through Sunday. Gives exposure and moves product quickly, freeing up space to buy more. So I haven't done an auction in a very, very long time. The last time I ran an auction was the last time I ran a eBay promotion. So that just kind of gives you some idea of how long it's been. When it comes to the auctions, I think any item would be great for an auction. However, the thing with auctions, you want to make sure that you're pricing your auction. Never started at $1. You'd be surprised at how much things sell for $1 or $2 on eBay, and the seller is disappointed, they're pissed off. So don't start the auction at $1. The tip that I have is to start it at a price that you'd be comfortable with. If it's sold for that starting price with just one bid and it was just that one person, start it at that price. That way, you're not losing any money. But I tend to, and that's another reason why I don't do auctions, because the type of items I sell are the items that I'm most familiar with. But with the auction, if it's a unique item that you really don't know too much about, and the comps from the previous 90 days are kind of all over the place, I would list it at a happy medium, somewhere where I'm comfortable with. But that's why I would put it in an auction, only because previous comps are all over. So if I started at say $50 and it sells for 100, cool. bidding wars happen all the time. But I tell people, don't start it at $1 because there's times where, you know, it could be a 10-day auction, but the right person didn't come around, and your item sold for only $1. So you can lose out big time with those. But that's the only tips I got in terms of auctions. I don't run them often enough because everything I sell is items I'm familiar with. So that's the only reason why I don't do auctions. But I'm gonna head out. Stayed on here for an hour. I hope this video was helpful. I hope everybody gained a little something from it. Make sure you guys hit that like button for me. It'll definitely help the channel grow. Also, if you guys are interested in the consistency tees, we got them in white and in black. Let me know if you guys want them in green as well in the comment section. I could order some green tees as well and get that going. This was just a little sample I wanted to create for myself. But we got the consistency tees, and you guys can use code consistency10 to save 10% off your order. I know I get a lot of questions on credit cards and which ones to use, so I put some referral links in the description of this video, so you guys can check that out as well. And if you guys got any other comments, questions, drop that in the comment section, and I'll get to those as soon as possible. And until then, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.